So we have our corporate structure, we now have our EIN, we now have our bank account, and we now have our attorney and our CPA. So we're ready to do some business. Wait a minute, we gotta fund this business. What do you mean by fund this business? That means we gotta put working capital into the business. So what is working capital? It sounds like a fancy word, maybe it doesn't mean anything to you. It's actually an extremely important word that a lot of small businesses struggle with. You make $100 in income, you take $100 out in pay. No, you can't do that. You have to put a certain dollar amount inside your bank account and you have to leave it so it does what? Work for you. That's why they call it working capital. Capital is another word for money. So by having working capital and you put $100 in your bank account, everything you earn and take out moving on, that $100 stays in there and it's constantly working for you. Some banks are going to have minimums, maybe $1,000 minimum, a $500. Maybe there's no minimum at all. Maybe you have other accounts in there, so that way they waive those fees. We need to try to make sure that we don't have a bank fee, but we also want to make sure there's enough working capital. I also recommend that we build up our working capital and our cash reserves in our business. So if we start earning $1,000 right now, instead of pulling it all out, let's keep that into the business. Let it grow, let it work. 1 month, especially here in Michigan, where we're at, you might have a fantastic summer. Booming business, dollars are flying in. Awesome, let's go buy 3 new snowmobiles. Hold on, what are you gonna do for income over the winter? We wanna make sure that we have working capital. I actually own 3 different businesses right now. One of them had a very big competitor come in from out of state with a lot of investor dollars, over $700 million in 1 quarter of funding. But you know what? Because we had enough working capital in our account, we were able to survive their initial push. We're still doing good, we're profitable, and we've stabilized. Why? Because we made sure that we had some cash reserves and enough working capital in our bank account. Another thing you can do to kind of help your working capital is to maybe get a credit card, or charge card as I like to call it, for your business. I don't like to use a lot of credit, even though some people will preach to the moon that it's great. What I do like about it is it stretches out my working capital. So we borrow and repay on one of our cards right now between $60,000 and $80,000 a month. You borrow that, you pay it off a month from now as your money comes in. So instead of you having to put that money out on expenditures and purchases, you then use your charge card. When that bill comes, you don't take any money out, and then at that point you go ahead and pay off that charge card. The other thing is points. Some of it's not taxable. So sometimes if you get the gift cards and you get some of those points to the credit card, you might be able to use it to pay off your balance. You might be able to get gas gift cards, Christmas shopping. Now all of a sudden that kind of helps you grow in the personal aspect even though you're doing a business. So I'm not sure if I really explained the working capital thing, but basically what we want to do is make sure that we keep money in the account. That way you have time for all your income and expenses to kind of equal out. So again, we're with Accelerated Solutions LLC. We're looking out for you, helping you create your legacy.